Lesson 5.2, Estimating Quotients with Two-Digit Divisors. Before we start, I want to reiterate one of the most important things we've studied in the last topic, which was compatible numbers. When the leading digits are divisible by each other, they are compatible. They work well together. So if your leading digits are 54 and 6, then they're compatible. And if they're close, you find what you can get close to. So if it was like 55 and 6, well, you just drop the 55 to 54. You'll see what I mean in this next example. So we have the problem 1,962 divided by 64. I've broken this down into 6 steps to be able to solve. Let's start here at step 1. First, we need to find compatible numbers. In this case, we look at the leading digits, which are 19 and 6. And we want to find something that's close. Well, I know that 19 is not divisible by 6, but 18 is. And 18 is pretty close to this. So I'm going to say that 18 and 6 are my compatible numbers. Step 2 says to change the remaining digits to be zeros. So I took this 1962, or 1,962, and turned it into 18. And then these 62, I put down as zeros, because step 2 says change all the remaining digits to zeros. Same thing with my 64. I said my 6 was my leading digit. So then that 4 turns into a 0. Step 3, cross off the same number of zeros in both numbers. So if you notice, I have only one 0 in this number. So I'm going to cross that off. And since I crossed off 1 in this side, I can cross off 1 in this side. So my new problem is 180 divided by 6. Notice by finding compatible numbers and by taking care of some of the zeros, it makes it a lot easier to divide. Let's go to step 4. Step 4 says we're going to divide the leading digits. So again, we have our 18 and our 6. 18 divided by 6 equals 3. I'm sorry, this part is where if you're not sure on 18 divided by 6 equals 3, you need to make sure that you're practicing your math facts, that you've made flashcards, and every day you need to be going through those. Step 5, add the zeros to your quotient. Okay, so we had 180 divided by 6. We did our leading digits of 18 divided by 6 was 3. We had 1 0 left over in here in the 180 that we haven't used yet. So we need to bring that over to our quotient. So our new quotient for 1,800 divided by 60 is 30. And now we need to check our work. Step 6 says check your work by multiplying your quotient times your divisor. So we said that 1,800 divided by 60 equals 30. Our quotient is 30, and our divisor is 60. So I have 30 times 60. I look at my leading digits. 3 times 6 is 18, and then I had 1 0 here and 1 0 here, so that's 1,800, and that's the number I was trying to reach. Let's do a practice problem. Question number 1. I'm sorry about that, that's a little confusing. 2,613 divided by 49. Let's do this step by step and I'll write it along with you. Pause the video, see if you can solve this on your own, and then we'll do it. All right, let's check if you got it right. Remember, step 1 says to find compatible numbers. So let's do that. Well, this is one that's pretty close to 5, so I'm going to guess that this is 5, and I'll see what I can do about that. 26. You know what? I know that 25 is divisible by 5, and that's pretty close, so I'm going to turn that into 25. Then I go to step 2. Step 2 says to change the remaining digits to zeros. So I go in here, and the remaining digits I had were this 1 and the 3, and I'm going to change that, both of them to zeros. And over here I had the 9, and I'm going to change that to a 0. So now my new problem, my rounded estimated problem, is 2,500 divided by 50. Step 3 says cross off the same number of zeros in both sides, or both numbers. So I can only cross off 1 0 here, so I'm going to cross out 1 0 there. So now I have 250 divided by 5. Step 4, divide the leading digits. So again, I look at just the leading digits right there. 25 divided by 5 gives me 5. I'll write that right here so it's a little bit easier. Step 5 says add the zeros to your quotient. Well, if you notice, I crossed off this 0 and this 0, but I still have this one left, so I'm going to add that to my quotient. So now I finished my steps. I got an answer of 50. Oh, there's one step left. Check your work. So let's do that. Let's take 50, which is my quotient, and I'm going to multiply it by my divisor, which is 50 also. I multiply the leading digits. 5 times 5 is 25. And then add 1, 2 zeros, 1, 2. Look at that. It matches exactly what I was doing. So these are the steps that we're going to use when we're going to estimate quotients with 2-digit divisors. If you have any questions, please make sure you join a small group or you ask me. Have a great night.